Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Guys, in this session I'm going to talk about immutability. And after that I'll be going to show you like how to create our own immutable class. Now let's start here from the what is immutability. Guys, immutability means once an object is created. Once an object is created, we cannot change its content. For example, suppose I create the person object here. I created the person object by passing the name as a content. By passing the name as a content. That means our object getting got created, correct? But we cannot change its content. What is the content here? Content is the same. That is that person name. We cannot update the person name. That is nothing but your immutability concept. Okay, we cannot touch to the content of that object, so that is nothing but your immutability. Now we got the point here. What is immutability? Now let's understand the how to create the our own immutable class. Now guys, to create our own immutable class we have to follow few steps. So what are those? Let's discuss the one by one here. So first step is like declare that class. Whatever class you want to create as an immutable class, we have to declare that class as a final. Then why we need to declare that class as a final? So see, no one can extend and modify their functionality. No one can extend and modify their functionality. For example, suppose I have created this person class, correct? And if I declare some variable inside it like private string name will be there, that person name, suppose, and I'm going to create one function, so where that name will be returned. Okay, public something get name function. Okay, now let me create another class which will extend the functionality of person class, class main extends the person. Okay, what I did here, I created one person class, declare one variable that is name, and provided getter method to that variable to get the value. Now what I did, I created the main class and extend the functionality of that class. That means I can able to override the method of this parent class, and I can change the behavior like this constant behavior of that class. See, so this will not allowed in immutability. So this will change. So this will our definition will not saying that. What is the definition here? Once we create object, we cannot change it. So we are going to change the functionality of the person class. It will not allow. So to restrict this one, to restrict this disadvantage, we have to make that class as a final. So that person class as a final. Now I'm going to make it as a final. Let me add the final. Now see, once I added as a final, then after that immediately I started getting the compilation exception, that is cannot inherit from the final. Okay, cannot inherit from the final, make person as a not final. Once I make it as a not final, then and then only I can able to that main class able to extend and modify their functionality. Okay, so what I tell here, declare that class as a final, so no one can extend and modify their functionality. No one can extend and modify their functionality. So that is the first step we have to follow. Now let's talk about the second phase. So what is the second phase we have to follow? That is like provide all getter methods implementation but not setter method. Suppose I provided the getter method. Okay, let's forget this one. And suppose I provided the setter methods as well. Okay, and let me create the object. Sorry, let me create one class as a main, and which having the main method. What I'll do, I'll create the object of a person and I'll set the name. I'll set the name Samadhan. See, what will happen? I am able to change the content of the class. Correct? I am able to change the content of that class object. That person class object, I am able to change the content. So for that, we have to only provide the getter method instead of providing the setter method. No need to provide the setter method here. We have to only provide the getter method. So that is our second rule. Remove the setter method from here because we cannot able to update that content by using the setter method. Setter method mainly we use to update the content, but we don't want this one. Okay. Now the question is like how to set the value. Then how to set the value for this name parameter here. So we have to declare one parameterized constructor. Whenever question is to change the value, then new object will be created. See, we have to provide the parameterized constructor. Whenever new person came, that new person need to be create the new object and pass their name here. How I'll explain you. Public person, let's create the object here. Sorry, constructor to accept the name and this dot name is equal to name. Correct. See, suppose I'll create the object of a person by passing the sum. Okay. If I try to change that object, so see, I can able to get it, but I cannot able to set the value. Okay. If new person came, so that person need to be create the new object, then and then only constructor will get called. After the object creation cycle, constructor getting called. So in that case, we have to whenever value getting changed, we must have to create the new object, then and then only we can pass the new data to that class, otherwise we can't change the existing data. So that's why third rule saying we have to declare the parameterized constructor to assign the value for that class variable. To assign that variable name like person name, we have to declare the person parameterized constructor. Okay, this is the third. Now, what is the fourth rule? Declare all variables as a final. Declare all variables as a final. Suppose, let's take an example. I am going to add all rules here. So see, first rule is what here? Declare that class as a final. I declare that class as a final. Second rule, provide only getter methods. Yeah, I provided the getter method. Third rule, declare parameterized constructor to accept the value for this name. Yeah, I provided it one. But what is the fourth rule here? Declare all variables as final. No one can access it. Okay, no one can access. But see what will happen here. I created this class object. I created what I created. I created this class object. And if I make that name as a public, then what will happen? Anyone can change it. Anyone can change it. Suppose say name is equal to Ganesh, something like this. Let's print the smart dot get name. Let's observe the output here. Then let's see the execution. Okay, what will happen here? We can able to change the data. We can able to change the existing data, but rule says we cannot change its content. We cannot change its content, but in my case I can able to change my name variable here because I pass that name as a public. Suppose if I make it as a private, then what will happen? Immediately I started getting the exception, that is name has a private access. make that name as a public. Then and then only we can access. And let's execute the same code and let's observe the output. We will get the summa as a output. See, we got the output as a expected. Now we can able to declare the email. So this is our immutable class. So these are the four rules we have to follow. First rule is we have to declare that class as a final. Second rule says only getter method we need to declare, but not setter. So we cannot able to update the value when like declare the parameterized constructor, and after that declare that all variables as a private, so no one can access it and modify it. So this is kind of our immutable class we have to think. And this is the frequently asked question, so we have to tell them these four steps. First, declare that class as a final, provide the getter method only, then provide the parameter as constructor, and provide the all variable as a private. So that's all guys, thank you for watching this session.